Cat?
Yeah.
The Backrooms, no clipping out of reality into a world of basically forgottenness. Yet, here I am gonna be covering all the levels from 0 to 99. Now, there's a lot of forms of these Wikipedia pages. We have the wikidot, which doesn't know how to form levels for the hell of it, which is what we're gonna be using for this. The fandom page, which decides to blast advertisements, cane pixels, art projects from kindergarten running towards you, and Reddit not knowing what to say anything and just saying, hey, where am I, in a random image from a video game. The backroom is defined by its levels, which is what makes it a unique horror concept. And some of them are good, some of them are very bad, but hey, we're here to check them all out, see what makes a level good and what makes a level bad. I'm going to be ranking the levels from 0 to 99. Here's a timestamp if you don't want to hear why. Welcome back to the ranking series. I'm your host, Nadog1520, where I'll be ranking things for eternity. So avoiding the weird side of the wikidot that we'll be using, you guys have a real weird obsession with the game master. Why, guys? There's also things called sub-levels, but I will not include them currently. They'll all be a video of their own, if this does well enough, of course. And I will not be including negative levels, and when it comes to things like phases or revisions, they'll all be included together, unless they're different enough that I may count them differently. I'll be ranking levels based on their subliminality, which, if that's even a real word or not, basically means how good of a liminal space they are. It should feel nostalgic, it should feel engaging, you want to be there and feel safe, yet you know it's dangerous, creepy, the paranoia can set in, and you want to leave. There's reasons to stay and to depart from this level, whether willingly or not. In summary, how they use that liminal space, and also how unique the level is from other levels, what makes it stand out as its own unique level, and not just another part of the level you're already in. Now, I may be a big nerd, but I can still make mistakes, so if I do make any mistakes, feel free to correct me in the comment section, and I will make a mistake video later on, going over any that made. And also check the uploads, as levels have changed, such as level 37 has now completely shifted from it originally being something completely different 2 years ago. I want to thank Bogley and also the Terra Backroom Studies, as they helped me go through the levels that were just so boring to read, as you'll see down the list. If you want to see more of this, or want me to rank levels 100 to 199, then please like and subscribe. That shows me that these videos do good and that people would want to see more of them, and also help encourage my procrastination-ass behavior to actually get up my sorry little butt and get to work. With everything said and done, remember, this is my opinion. Credits should be down in the description. If you have any issues, please bring it up in the comment section, as I am a reasonable person and again can still make mistakes. And with all that being said, let's get on to the levels from worst to best. There's nothing about level 85, it no longer exists, so obviously it's gonna have to go into last place. I think it used to be a ship though. Level 93 is just basically the weather report of Mount Everest's summit. Level 3 is just level 0 and 2 combined together with a higher difficulty count and worse. Level 89 is pretty much you just walked into an ice cream parlor and now you can't walk into the city. That's pretty much it. An ancient city maze. That's pretty much it. You also can't take photos. Level 77 is just you waiting on a train. Wow, I love New York commute stations. Kongshin Highway, besides me pronouncing it incorrectly, it's just another highway with mountains. Ooh. Level 55's image is copyright and will get you copyright strikes, so I can't show it here, but it's just a supermarket with freezers. A backyard with overgrown foliage, so the entire level description is just someone getting attacked by a dog. Dude's house slipped into the back rooms and now he's alone and trapped. A really good written story, but not a good level. Corridor is another level hallway thing. Yeah. Rollers Rockin' Pizza is just a really bad arcade level, and I actually like the other variation of it called the Video Rental Store. Arabian Desert is just an Arabian desert with messed up 9-day cycles with sandstorms that bring entities towards you. Ooh. The Infinite Apartment isn't even infinite, it has a 1,000 floor limit, and after that it's just very dull to read. Great liminal space idea, but I had to pull up Bogley for this one. Nice. Revergate Tower is a 31 floor office building with entities there to serve you. Besides that, just don't go to level 14 of the building because the French are there and the French scare me. The red lands are surrounded by water too dangerous to enter, a crimson sky that covers it with millions of entities surrounding the place. We're now getting into late SCP entries as pretty much you will die anytime you come here. There's also a silver castle, but it doesn't change the fact that death is everywhere because we love death. Forest of the Skeleton Queen has you sucking up to the character called the Bell so you don't die, and the image is just too goofy for me to take it seriously because it just has a bunch of decorated skeletons hanging on forest trees. Futuristic Halls just says it's futuristic without explaining any of the new technology, and then just adds a little bit of visual cleanup detail in there. Lurking Darkness is if you took the old level 53 and old level 6 and just poured it into a cup and said, I love myself a pure cup of nothing, because it just pure darkness, makes you scared of the night, and also, if you blink, it changes. Cave System is a dark cave system with dripping stalactites everywhere, and it gets a very bad rep for being the worst Backrooms level in every Backrooms game I've ever played. Lights Out is just a pitch black level. Oh, we're getting creative, and somehow someone already mapped out the entire area. Anyway, time to go spread misinformation on how it's the scariest level ever. The Enchanted Forest is a forest of indestructible oak with a border and of strong winds and lightning to keep you within the compound. You drink some almond water, you'll be fine because it's just another forest with a calm effect. The Sunset Beach is just a never-ending beach with a tropical rainforest behind it. Going in there, you'll find some really weird creatures, which are just front-room animals with their names slightly changed and a hue shift. Be like the famous Gelephant. Ooh, guys, this is a creative level and definitely not made by a 5-year-old. Nor is a black and white field where you're all alone no matter what. But something stalks you. Oh, another field. How scary. Wandering Waters has trees that grow almond water apples with a tribe of cavemen. Yeah, you try and make sense of that. The Call of the Crab is just a giant beach with a bunch of crabs eating each other, and blood and guts and blood and big crab and crab. Eyes on You is a large cavern with a bunch of minerals inhabited by Neanderthals, because as the longer you stay in there, you'll start actually turning into one, and you always have the sense of being watched. This used to be the school level, and I wish they went back to the school level. The Shifted Hedge Mage is a giant hedge mage, but with a bunch of houses stuck in it. I mean, it was gonna happen at some point, because mazes and backrooms just go together like cream and pie or whatever. Ghoul Town is a sandy desert area with a sick orange hue to it, with living tumbleweeds. A town called Ghoul Town resembles the front rooms, but is inhabited by the Walking Dead, and is just a mess to read. So you're basically in the International Space Station, but if you look at a star, then you're gonna want to stare at it forever until you go insane. That's really it, there's no flow to this. The Void Basement, besides letting you know there's dust and sand everywhere, is a sizable dim-lit basement with echoes can remind you of people from your past, and you'll slowly fade away into nothingness. Yay! The Bunker Space is a large cavern hot springs to reduce your stress and heal you slightly. There's actually a large waiting line to get into this one. It's a very interesting level, I guess. Crimson Stairs is a staircase mixed with hallways with a crimson glow, which main goal is to get you paranoid while sending you back to level 11. Matrix is just an area where you can take photos, but it has been described as a completely white voided room with a waiting game as you wait for the door to let you out. Boundless Sewers is a constantly changing sewer system depending on which tunnel you go down, like Minecraft biomes, and the farther you go, the more biomes can lead you into trouble or different items. The Bumper Crop is a simple farm landscape with a random stone castle and archers trying to kill you. Otherworldly is a small urban household with parts from the actual real houses basically stitched together into this conglomerate of entities chasing you in a small, claustrophobic area. The Moon is pretty much a level where some dude bought one of those like planetarium systems where like it's like one of those miniature systems, and we're just on the moon part and we get to mine it for plastic. Sometimes you get to see the guy. I think his name was Paul. Abyss Inc. is a vast city landscape floating around this one building in the center, which appears to be the Empire State Building. Ink covers the ground everywhere and everything's made of styrofoam. I'm not too sure what to make of this, but interesting concept. Exhibits a dark humid walk-through aquarium and is constantly changing, causing someone to... Is something following me? What was that? Desolate Terminal is an abandoned airport station with rotten food everywhere. You can go up staircases to be met at the very bottom again. The people you find here are from missing aircraft flights over the Bermuda Triangle, and on top of that, you can actually board the airplanes to sometimes go somewhere, or just be killed. Stairway or spirals is an endless damp staircase that has started growing black mold and everything's starting to decay. Sometimes you can find hallways, sometimes there's weird stuff on the walls. Yay! Horizon is just a level where there's a giant volcano that makes it uninhabitable, and if you try to go beyond the horizon, there's a horizon effect. Then the horizon effect makes you travel backwards in time, like rewind, like you're rewinding the channel. How many times did I say horizon there? Corridor and retail outlet is just like a rundown mall outlet with like a different type of buzzing than the normal ones you see. Honestly, I've seen a lot of these in the malls where I'm near, so you know what, fair enough. But also, what is with your guys' obsessions with liquid? Sublimity is the dream course Poolrooms that has been popularized by Kane Pixels recently, and it has lukewarm water with Epsom salts to help you keep yourself nice and relaxed. I don't know if this actually is in reference to Kane Pixels or the dream core, because this used to be a different level, but yeah, sure, okay then. Stormstone Keep is just a giant dark blue environment with this basically self-insert main character Dark Knight. He's like, no, you can't do that. And if you try to leave the safe zone, you blow up because of the chemicals in the flowers. Motion's a large green-hilled area with houses from the 1930s to 50s. The area also gives it this nice cartoony effect with a giant kingdom in it where the animated king pretty much says, I'm gonna turn everything here into my fantasy. Hyperine is an island with a sharp metal mountain thing surrounding an island where the whole island's actually a giant kraken that can apparently destroy the entire backrooms. How does that make sense? Frostbite is a blue cavern ice cave that's very smooth that will slowly kill you from, well, frostbite. This used to be a super edgy level with dead bodies everywhere because edgy guys cut my heart into pieces. The warehouse is a giant backrooms warehouse with oil everywhere. Let's hope the Americans don't find this one. Abandoned office just screams subliminal with it being completely empty with some cubicles left. Be careful of the windows as they will kill you, but because there's not much to it, I put it dead in the middle. I thought that was the most fairest spot to put it. Sewer system is a sewer system filled with dirty water. That's really about it. It's a creepy concept though. Roller rink is basically a thing where people will try and approach you, trying to get you onto the roller rink itself, and if you're error ace and you say no, then you'll be just fine, so it looks like I'm winning this one. The Morbian Highway, extremely hot 4-lane highway that can have a bunch of cars frozen in time, especially in certain positions that would only showcase things usually driving and then just frozen all of a sudden, with random people sometimes just walking across the road, and if they see you, they go, grrr, I'm angry, grrr. Tranquility is a level meant for relaxing in the clouds where wooden platforms keep you up cold. This used to be a treehouse, but the vines still surround the outside. The watchtower is a 2-floor watchtower that actually looks over 100 acres of grass plus the forest beyond that point, but you can't leave the grassed-in area. You may actually see entities walk in the forest, which I just found to be neat, but it's not an amazing level after that. An empty car lot is a dim-lit and multicolored parking lot with an unknown void surrounding it, where if you try to leave, cars will try and hit you. The Quarter Hub has a bunch of arcade machines basically left into ruins. If you're a 1970s or 80s kid, you'll love this level. It actually is put together really well, and has a unique level format that isn't them just explaining random crap. Terra Hotel is a very confusing mess of a hotel layout with a boiler room that has a bunch of almond water in its pipes. That's an interesting touch. Also, the noises are very strange in here. The road trip of infliction is when you accidentally fall asleep in a car, then wake up in another car on a long stretch of highway. We love our highways. This one's fog, darky, and you basically have to keep going, or you'll either be killed by a random arm just swinging through your window and killing you, or you'll just die of starvation. One of the two. And honestly, there's a pretty fun guide on how to beat this and has some interesting developments in it. The Purified Garden is basically a giant biology fan thing for me. It's a super organized size of a dwarf plant with trees, caves. There's also some random traps in here, like if you accidentally say, it's about a matter of time, these ancient centuries locked up will come screaming at you. Rah! Though not super liminal. The Sunken Submarine is a sunken submarine where a giant fish washes you at the bottom of the ocean. There's also people inside that go, hello, hello there. The Lobby, level 0 itself, the place where you spawn. It has a lot to it, a lot of sub-levels, a lot of variation, and it's because it's the first level you spawn with. There is so much to go over, and just compiling it down to like one description was hard enough. I think this covers the basics. Waterworld is an aquarium that also can sometimes fill with water in certain sections, but it's also an amusement park in certain sections. But the more you are in that amusement park, you actually realize it's about to deteriorate as you fall off the roller coaster to your death. Yay! Memories is that one embarrassing moment you had in your childhood just replayed on loop a lot of times. And if you don't have that moment, then they're just gonna make something up with people you know because they like torturing you. It's the Backrooms. Paradise is the narrative take on the level in a forest-like area where they're trying to get you to basically come in here and join a cult because you're never gonna leave after you go in. Newly Renovated Home is just such a goofy level. They basically took over a level, made a house, and go, hey, you should come buy this house, guys. Come on, we have houses down here. Please come buy them, please. The Eater is a play on word for theater, which is an old-style movie theater where if you sit down and watch the movie, you'll slowly be digested by the movie theater. The Ander Woods is a forest as old as time itself and tries to do everything to prevent human change because we don't like that. There's also a cult in it. That's kind of fun. The Downtown Diner is the infinite mirror effect where you look into a mirror and then have another one up to it and you can just see yourself throughout the entire diner. Because of how small it is, it basically lets you see yourself if you stand down the middle, just looping back and forth. Also, if you sit down, you'll see people that you know will eventually show up to the diner and sit down with you. Zoological Office is a pretty bland level description-wise, but it has a really good theory. The reason why there's a bunch of front room animals in there is because that's where non-human animals go. I like the idea. I wonder where the aquarium life is. Bloodstained Garden is in Crimson Red Forest, with the trees being red as it consumes fallen wanderers and other animals. Everything here wants to eat you, and all the animals that don't also have weird flesh type. It's a really interesting concept of a cannibal forest, and I love the idea, and it's my favorite forest so far, but again, there's another forest. Attic floorboards is a damp level that is cluttered with a bunch of junk and slowly decays over time with a random bright light just out of view. I do wish there was more to this, but I like the idea. The Backway is a subway terminal station with a bunch of sounds of trains passing by, but usually nothing comes. It's also swarming with entities down the tunnelways, but if you stay on the ground, maybe you'll live and you'll get lucky and survive. Numbered Doors is a large hallway with a bunch of doors with numbers on them, and this basically helps you travel to new levels. It's basically a checkpoint fast travel point, so that's why I put it up higher. I like the idea, it's simple, safe, and not trying to go for entities killing you guys. Hallway of Time is another hallway level, but this one has a really unique take with a time paradox, where you can actually bump into your past self, and you know how paradoxes want to get fixed, to make an infinite loop. Hooray! Until the end of time, there'll be an infinite loop that will never be solved because you decided to give your past self a candy wrapper. Habitational Zone is a large parking garage with also hallways strewn about it. This can have a lot of puddles in it that are not recommended to be drunk in. From the fog itself that covers the level, crates can be found which can contain a bunch of random assortments. The lights can go off which can cause you to be swarmed by entities. And after level 0, this is a nice new take on a really good liminal space level. As I've been to a parking garage, I think many people have seen what a parking garage looks like, and it just looks so vivid. Stage fright has you going into a stage-like room and watching a performance on stage of Old Bad Dreams. When everyone leaves, you start to get the actual paranoia sense of stage fright itself. I love the concept, I love the level idea, but I wish it actually took place on stage. It would just fit everything a little more. It's a little weirder than I think it should be. The Underneath has a main floor with a bunch of arches with narrow bridges to cross them. Don't fall down, that's a very bad thing, because then you'll fall into the basement that has basically no light, and you will be killed by entities, because everyone goes missing after a few days. Full Point is an unstable level that folds every point from level 0 to 37 into multiple different areas, splitting up their effects to cause a bunch of glitches and unstableness in the environment, which I think would just be such a cool concept to see. Use this one in the game, guys. Ultra Topography has 2 case files to it, but it basically is a large outdoor environment that can also be completely icy or summer-like environment that is constantly changing. Well, it's topography. I'm probably saying that wrong and I apologize for that. It's a really fun concept with also less gravity than you would think. I don't love it a lot, but I do love how every time you go in there, you're in a pure state of confusion, as everything could just be jagged spikes, or just a simple walk down a lovely path. The lighthouse has a lighthouse in the middle of it in stage 1, with overgrown grass all around it. If you get caught by the lighthouse light, you're killed, though now the lighthouse has been completely destroyed, with the graveyards that circle it with beautiful looking flowers on it. What a nice ending. The Gallium Cave is a cave made of pure gallium. If you ever held it in your hand, this stuff will melt from your body heat. So because of the temperature of this room is constantly changing and shifting, which makes it impossible to map out, but also, you would just sneak and be encased in a whole thing of gallium. Doesn't that sound fun? You can be Silver Surfer, but Gallium Surfer, ooh. Journal's Art Gallery is a bunch of art from every level of the backroom, but just like in an art gallery. I found this one just to be a simple and fun concept. It's not trying to be scary again, it's just an art gallery with pictures from each level. The ductwork is an infinite ventilation shaft you're stuck in crawling, which is already a scary idea. These vents can sometimes reach very cold to hot temperatures, and you can also just randomly fall down a 100-foot drop because it's all infinite. Ruins Left Behind used to be a large supply manufacturing place that now has been abandoned because they mined it so much that the entire level's collapsing. Trenches of Grime has you put into the Trenches of War, where if you try to leave, you'll be turned into a block of Swiss cheese. After that, if you try to stay in this level, then you better have some almond water on you or you'll start to go paranoid and get the effects of shell shock before turning into one of the soldiers. Thalassophobia is a terrifying level, starting you into this weird room that defies gravity before you plunge into the depths of the water. Though it's kind of goofy for some of the skeletons that float around it, honestly it's just a fun level that has such a weird and creepy aspect, being stuck in the middle of the ocean while a beast that wants nothing but to kill you, and the unexplored depths of it all. I'm not even trying to pronounce that, something desire. It basically takes you to a bakery where if you order a treat you really like, you're gonna die, and if you try one you don't like, it's basically gonna be rotten trash, and if you try one that you kinda like, then you'd be like, alright, 50-50, it may be kinda icky, kinda hurt me, or kind of yucky, you know. The depot has a bunch of storage units around here and filled with dust and childhood memories that trap you into these storage containers for life. The beast can also clip walls and basically cheat, which is Haka! Report it! The Endless City is just a perfect representation of what the backroom should be. It's basically a bunch of skyscrapers in a city that are floating, defying physics, clipped, glitch. It's just pure chaos. Cause that's what the Backrooms is. Pure chaos with some way to explain most of the chaos. I love the representation of this level. The Suburbs is a dark level that reminds me of basically going too far as a kid and having that possibility of being watched. It brings back that childhood nostalgic of being lost on the streets, in the houses, and the neighborhood watch. Great subliminal level. The carrier is built around an aircraft carrier, and if you look out into the light, then your lungs will start filling with water, and the staircases will just never reach the surface. You're always trapped in this place that is just basically super hard to move around, and no matter how high you go, you'll never escape the pits of the carrier. The Baywalk is a dark concrete path that takes place during the night, and it's set near the water to help you relax, so when you get your defense all down, the creatures within the darkness can finally kill you. The Black Lake is a giant lake surrounded by charcoal black desert that is just filled with boiling tar. It's just a simple concept, but if you make one wrong step and you fall into that tar pit, yikes! Also, the fumes are just slowly gonna kill you over time. You could literally get trapped on an island where you're stuck there forever. Pipe Dream is just way better than level 3 in every sense, as it's so fleshed out with the detail, imagination, even the simple thing of a power outage that lasted, that kind of made it feel like you're trapped into something that not even whatever made this is in control of. Just a good level. Self-automated trades, basically when your family takes you down to the family's market and then you try and go around, but this just goes on forever and it's in a Victorian era building. Facelings and other entities will have the properties of level 11, not trying to kill you, but trying to trade with you, and if you try to steal from them, then yeah, they're still entities and they're gonna kill you. But they also say, nuh-uh, it's closing time, we don't want you here anymore, get out. Floating skyscrapers. The skyscrapers define the laws of physics. They even float in the air, stuck like anything you would ever see, with a cozy, warm feeling on the inside, with bridges that stretch miles and miles apart, with no end in sight to the ground, with a cold breeze that is strong to push you over. Wow! I am afraid of heights. I hate this level. The Infinite Shopping Mall is made from actual stores, which is just a completely abandoned shopping mall. As deeper you go on, the level starts decaying, flooding, fish, mold, plants growing, lights turning off, entities, and no one has gotten past so far because you'll start to get killed. The weeds are so big, the entities here are abundant. The fear of aging in this level is perfectly representation by this. The age that we are slowly no longer kids and our past is decaying. I like to think of this level as more of just a level of decay, but also kind of a commentary on just the fear of aging. And I find this level very beautiful. Shifted Beyond Reality is my favorite, a floating skyscraper-like area that just has bridges connecting all the islands. This is simple and fun. Why doesn't everyone stay here, go here? Well, it's the Backrooms. There's actually mind-altering squids that want to basically take over your entire mind to make you think that's what this level is, because we cannot comprehend the level. If we go into this level, we're assured death because we can't comprehend it, so we'll go into a state of numbness and die, or we'll be taken over by the squids ourselves. It's a lose-lose scenario that has just really good way at drawing out the revisions of it all. Great level design. And that's my opinion. Feel free to leave your own in the description below and update me if anything is wrong or if anything got updated. I love making this, so even though it took a long time, it was more of a tedious process and difficult, I would love to make another one on the next set of levels if you guys want to see them. Though I do have to say, as the time goes on, there's going to be less and less data points for this, but hey, this was actually really fun to make. Some of these levels were utter garbage, and some of them are really good. But now that I'm working on my own level, which is going to be hopefully level 510, called the Angler's Dock, I took this as a learning opportunity. Thanks for watching, and I hope to make more FNF content or stuff within the SCP, Backrooms, and horror genre. See you guys